Welcome back, Better Agents. Here in this video, we're going to do a breakdown and review of Openly Insurance, and we're going to discuss whether or not it's a good idea for you to get appointed with them in your agency. Now, before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Openly Insurance. Now, perhaps you've seen other insurance agents talking about Openly in different Facebook groups, or maybe you've even run into them at different conferences or events. Quite simply put, Openly Insurance is one of the good guy Insurtech carriers. They only offer home insurance, and they work exclusively with independent insurance agents. Openly's underwriting appetite is pretty unique. With other home insurance carriers, it's an automatic no if the customer has diving boards, trampolines, prior claims, or particular dog breeds. But at Openly, it's not an automatic no. In fact, they use actual common sense when underwriting their risks. For more clarification on this, I sat down with the Chief Product Officer at Openly, Owens, and we discussed the appetite for Openly's underwriting. When you guys look at the agents that you're wanting to work with and the business that you're wanting them to submit, what is Openly's general appetite for new business? What type of business are you guys looking to put on the books? What type of business are you guys saying it's not really in our wheelhouse? What are you guys looking for from a new business perspective?
What you find more often than not is that, for you think about geographies, I would say we tend to have a lot of really good success in suburban areas, right? We generally focus a bit more upmarket. So homes between $500,000 and $1 million tends to be where I would say from our sweet spot, that tends to be where we have a lot of really good traction. Where we typically focus, I would say our bread and butter is on sort of newer, larger homes tends to be an area where we're not just, I'd say from an appetite perspective, but even from a competition perspective, an area where we focus as well. But again, that isn't to say that's really solely it. That's really, I would say, maybe more of the bread and butter, but we definitely have, I'd say, pretty broad appetite around those areas as well.
Is there anything where you guys are saying that's not really what we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have. It definitely really depends, right? I think the way we approach underwriting, and this is certainly worth calling out here, right? The way we approach underwriting is a bit less than or a bit different than maybe the sort of heuristic rules you might see at other carriers, right? Where it's very binary yes, no decisions, right? And I think if you, Nick, went through 10 maybe other questions there, a lot of them would be it depends, because we use a multivariate algorithm-driven approach to think about underwriting, and it is not always a binary yes/no decision like you might see at other carriers, right? And so it depends on multiple factors, and as those factors sort of build, that is what tends to lead to an underwriting, decision that is eligible or ineligible, right? And I think that's one of the benefits to us, right? Is that it's not always just a very strict hard line of yes, no, is that there's always, it's more of a risk tolerance than anything else, right? And I know sometimes that can be challenging to the agent, right? Trying to present that to a customer. Well, why is my quote not eligible, right? Why am I not the right fit for this carrier? And I think it tends to be sort of a combination of multiple variables, right? And you talked about coastal being one area, right? And I think that's sort of how we think about coast, where it's not always just a yes, no, it's sort of it depends depending on where the house is located too. But we do think that gives us a bit of a broader, it gives us a chance to be more selective where we need to be as well.
Now, here are the things that I absolutely love about Openly, and if you're an independent insurance agent, why I think you should get the appointment with them. The first reason is probably the most important reason. They work exclusively with independent insurance agents. Gone are the days of Insurtech companies trying to come in to displace and replace independent agents. We have Openly saying, we want to work with agents. We want to help independent agents. We want to give independent agents the tools they need to thrive. That is why you should consider working with Openly, because they have the independent channels back. They want to work with you.
And it's really fundamental to who we are at Openly too. I think it really speaks to our value proposition a lot. And, I guess I can make it a bit personal here, right? I think about my own experience buying insurance. I've worked in insurance for the better part of the last 15 years, trained as an actuary. So as a younger actuary, right, buying insurance is something that I always sort of found joy in. I knew it pretty well. I thought I did at least. And tended to buy direct, pretty simple insurance needs. But as life got more complicated, right? I bought a house, grew a family, my insurance needs got more complicated, right? And the decision to think about choice is really critical, right? As somebody who's really insurance savvy, it's easy to go get quotes from 10 different direct carriers, right? And that might be one, that was my personal experience, but that isn't everybody's personal experience, right? I think in the world of insurance shopping can be really, really complicated, and recognizing that you have, I speak about that sort of trusted advisor, but recognizing you have somebody who's going to bring you that choice platform and be able to bring you that without a lot of headache is really critical.
The next reason why I really like Openly Insurance is they just provide better base coverage on their home insurance products. They offer guaranteed replacement cost up to $5 million, and you can bump up the liability to $1 million. These two aspects alone set them apart from nearly 99% of the other home insurance carriers on the market. I love that Openly is a forward-thinking insurance carrier. I used to sell insurance for a carrier that started in 1908. If I were to walk down the corporate halls today, I might find the same people in charge. That's what it felt like working with some of these companies and how they dealt with underwriting, they dealt with their product, or they just saw insurance in general. Openly doesn't think that way. They have a more common sense approach. They have a more forward-thinking, progressive approach to working with insurance and working with agents. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Nick, you're saying a lot of great things about Openly, but what about claims? What about service? This is where the rubber meets the road. How do I know they're going to be a good fit in my agency based on their claims handling? Well, for that, I wanted to interview particular agents and I wanted to do some research, and here's what I found. I assume the answer here, but a lot of times when you're thinking about carriers, when people are thinking about getting appointed with carriers, one of the things that they always worry about is their service department and their claims department. Have you had any experience, or what's been your experience with claims and service?
Yeah, so I mentioned that my producer loves them for the ease of doing business. My CSR also loves them because they have a chat feature on their agent portal, and they respond extremely quickly, and they're efficient as well. We don't have to pick up the phone. She doesn't have to wait on hours to get an answer, but she can chat them. So it's extremely easy that way. And then also with claims, we were writing a ton of business with Openly, and I was kind of nervous because we were telling everybody how great this company was, and we hadn't had a claim yet. And then we had a claim, and I was like, oh no, how is this going to go? I was a little nervous, but the claim process went extremely smooth. They were responsive, especially this past year where claims with most carriers have just been a complete disaster. They worked very quickly, very efficiently. And there was one time where they could have rejected the claim. I wouldn't have blamed them, but they covered it no problem. And my client was completely satisfied.
What's the experience like working in their systems? I know some systems you work in, some carrier sites you work in, has to be on Microsoft Explorer, or it just feels like you've got to make a million clicks, or you just don't know where things are at. What's it like working inside of their system?
Literally, you enter in the address, and like 3 clicks later, you have a quote. So easy. What
about endorsements or making changes to mortgagee or just any of those things? What's it like just navigating a policy, whether it's new business or existing business?
Yeah, so the chat feature makes all that easy. Anytime we need to have a mortgagee change or there's any questions, simply chat them in. Within 2 minutes, you have an email with the updated deck page. So that's very simple as well. And it's all run on Chrome. We're not on Internet Explorer. All very fast, efficient website.
What type of business are you putting with them?
So their sweet spot, at least here in Arizona, I believe all throughout the country, are 400,000 dwelling coverage up to like 1.5 million, and newer homes. If it falls within that range, Openly is going to win all day long.
Win how?
Price and coverage options.
Okay.
Sometimes they're almost too cheap, to be honest. Their rates are so good. I wish they'd be a little bit higher. But yeah, on price and coverage. Right.
Let's cut the BS and let's talk turkey. One of the problems that independent agents continuously voice is feeling like they never have any true partners in their agency, whether it be their software providers or the carriers that they use. They never really feel like there's alignment between themselves, the agency, and their providers. Openly is going to be a fantastic partner that you need to use in your agency as long as they write business in your state. You need to add them to your carrier mix because they're going to help you. They're going to back you. They're going to support you. They're not going to take your information from your quotes and then go sell directly to your clients. They're going to work exclusively with you. Their coverage is fantastic. Their claims is phenomenal. Their service is great. They're going to help you. This is the new wave of Insurtech, and the new wave of Insurtech is going to help agents. It's going to give agents the tools that they need, and Openly does that from a carrier level. I would highly recommend that if you're looking for replacement products or new products to add into your agency from a home insurance level, you need to consider Openly because they are going to be phenomenal for you. So go to their website, go through the appointment process, and add them to your carrier mix. I couldn't recommend them enough. Better agents, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts or your experiences with Openly, and we'll see you again on the next video.